Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and history enthusiasts. Today we're taking a closer look at one of the most iconic silver coins ever produced by the United States Mint, the Standing Liberty Quarter Dollar. Featuring the classic dates from the 1920s, this coin is more than just a quarter. It is a powerful symbol of freedom, strength, and national identity. Struck in 90% silver and designed with the stunning image of liberty holding an olive branch and a shield, this coin represents the message of peace with readiness to defend. These quarters come from a remarkable era in history, a time when America was growing, changing, and stepping into a new modern age. In this video, we'll explore the design, the story behind the coin, and why collectors around the world continue to admire the Standing Liberty Quarter even after more than a century. So stay with us, and let's begin this journey into the history and beauty of this legendary silver coin. This coin comes from a year that quietly sits at the edge of history. The 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter was struck during a moment when America felt strong, confident, and unstoppable, yet unknowingly stood just one step away from one of the greatest economic disasters the world would ever see. That is what gives this coin its deep and lasting significance. The Standing Liberty Quarter was never meant to be an ordinary coin. When the design was introduced in 1916, it was created to represent ideals rather than just value. By 1928, this design had matured into a powerful national symbol. The United States was no longer a young nation trying to find its place. It was a global force, and this coin reflected that confidence. On the obverse, Lady Liberty stands with calm authority. She is not rushing, and she is not fearful. Her posture is balanced and deliberate. In her right hand, she holds an olive branch, a universal symbol of peace. In her left hand, she grips a shield, reminding the world that peace is protected by strength. This imagery perfectly captures the spirit of the late 1920s, hopeful, yet cautious. The word liberty crowns the top of the coin, bold and unmistakable. It is not decorative, it is declarative. Liberty is the foundation. On both sides of liberty, the phrase, "In God we trust," reflects the moral anchor of the nation during this period. And at the bottom rests the date 1928, quietly marking a year that would soon be remembered as the calm before the storm. Turning the coin over reveals one of the most admired eagle designs in American coinage. The eagle is shown in full flight, wings stretched wide, moving forward with purpose. This is not an eagle defending a nest or resting on a branch. It is an eagle advancing into open space, symbolizing ambition, freedom, and national momentum. Surrounding the eagle, the inscription, United States of America, reinforces national identity, while E pluribus unum speaks to unity, many individuals forming one nation. At the bottom, quarter dollar grounds the artwork in its practical role, reminding us that this beautiful object was once everyday money. The 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter is struck in 90% silver, giving it real, tangible value even today. But silver alone does not explain why this coin is respected. What truly matters is survival. The Standing Liberty design was known for wearing down quickly in circulation. Fine details disappeared fast, especially on Liberty's face and the date. Because of this, 1928 examples with strong detail are not easy to find. Collectors carefully examine the sharpness of Liberty's features, the clarity of the shield lines, and the condition of the stars. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers and wing definition are crucial. A well-preserved 1928 coin immediately stands out among its peers. Another important factor is timing. The year 1928 sits near the end of the Standing Liberty Quarter series. Just a short time later, the design would be replaced by the Washington Quarter. That makes 1928 part of the final generation of coins to carry this iconic artwork into daily circulation. From a historical perspective, this coin traveled through a fascinating world. The late 1920s were filled with innovation, music, industry, and optimism. Radios were entering homes, cities were expanding, and modern American culture was taking shape. This quarter passed through those hands, workers, merchants, families, without anyone knowing how quickly things would change. When the Great Depression arrived, many silver coins were hoarded, melted, or lost. That is why original examples of the 1928 Standing Liberty Quarter are now viewed as survivors. Each one represents endurance, both of the coin itself and of the era it came from. Today, collectors see this coin as a bridge between two worlds, the confident prosperity of the 1920s and the harsh reality that followed. It is admired not only for its silver content, but for its story, its artistry, and its symbolism. Holding a 1928 standing Liberty Quarter is like holding the final breath of a beautiful design. It reminds us that history does not always announce its turning points. Sometimes, it hides them in plain sight, on a simple silver coin. That is why this quarter continues to capture attention. It is not loud, and it does not exaggerate its importance. Instead, it speaks quietly through its design, its metal, and its time. And for collectors and historians alike, that quiet voice is exactly what makes the 1928 standing Liberty Quarter so. The 1920 standing Liberty Quarter, one of the most artistic and symbolic coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Every detail on this coin tells a story, and today we are going to uncover why collectors all over the world are fascinated by it. The standing Liberty Quarter was first introduced in 1916, at a time when America wanted its coinage to look bold, beautiful, and meaningful. The year 1920 falls right in the middle of this legendary series, making it especially interesting for collectors. When you look at the front of the coin, you see Lady Liberty standing tall and confident. She is holding a shield in one hand and an olive branch in the other. This design represents a powerful message. America desires peace, but it is always ready to defend its freedom. The word liberty is boldly written at the top, and just beneath it, the phrase, "In God we trust," reflects the values of the nation during that era. At the bottom of the coin, you'll find the date 1920, quietly marking a moment in history that followed the end of World War I. America was changing rapidly, and this coin witnessed it all. Now turn the coin over, and you'll see a majestic eagle in flight. The eagle's wings are fully spread, symbolizing strength, independence, and ambition. Around the eagle, the words, "United States of America," and "quarter dollar," proudly declare the coin's identity. Beneath the eagle, the Latin phrase, "E pluribus unum," reminds us of unity, one nation formed from many. What makes the 1920 standing Liberty Quarter truly special is not just its design, but the way it was made. These coins were struck using silver, 90% pure, giving them intrinsic metal value even today. Over time, many of these coins were heavily used, which means finding one with clear details is becoming harder every year. That scarcity is exactly what drives collector interest. One of the most fascinating things about this coin is how sensitive it is to condition. Because the date was placed in a recessed area on early versions, many 1920 quarters have weak or worn dates. If you have a coin where the date is still strong and readable, that alone makes it more desirable. Sharp details on Liberty's face, shield, and gown can significantly increase the coin's value. Mint marks also play an important role. The 1920 standing Liberty Quarter was produced at different mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from branch mints, especially in higher condition, are often harder to find and more sought after. Even small differences can mean a big change in value in the collector market. Collectors love this coin because it represents a turning point in American coin art. Before this era, many U.S. coins had simpler, less dramatic designs. The standing Liberty Quarter broke that pattern. It was bold, emotional, and full of symbolism. That's why even today, more than 100 years later, people are still drawn to it. Another reason this coin is so respected is the historical context of 1920 itself. The United States was adjusting to life after World War I. The economy was unstable, prohibition was beginning, and society was changing fast. This coin circulated through all of that. It passed through the hands of soldiers, workers, shopkeepers, and families trying to rebuild their lives. From a collector's point of view, the 1920 standing Liberty Quarter is a coin that rewards patience and knowledge. It may look simple at first glance, but the deeper you study it, the more details you discover. Strike quality, wear patterns, mint marks, and even toning can all affect its desirability. Today, these coins are carefully preserved in collections around the world. Some are kept raw, while others are graded and encapsulated for protection. Higher grade examples can command impressive prices, especially when the design details remain strong. Even worn examples, however, are valued for their silver content and historical significance. This is the kind of coin that reminds us why numismatics is more than just money. It's about art, history, and storytelling. A single quarter dollar like this can open a window into the past and connect us with a world that no longer exists. So if you ever come across a 1920 standing Liberty Quarter, don't ignore it. Take a closer look. Study the details. Check the date, the condition, and the overall appearance. You might be holding a coin that has traveled through a century of American history. Coins like this are not just collected, they are respected. They carry the spirit of liberty, strength, and resilience. And that is why the 1920 standing Liberty Quarter remains one of the most admired and discussed coins among collectors. Todd. The 1927 standing Liberty Quarter, a coin that carries the weight of history, art, and rarity all in one small piece of silver. Holding this coin is like holding a frozen moment from a powerful era in American history, a time when the nation was redefining itself after war, change, and rapid growth. The Standing Liberty Quarter series was already famous by the time 1927 arrived. Introduced in 1916, this design was revolutionary. It broke away from dull, mechanical coin designs and brought emotion, movement, and symbolism into American coinage. By 1927, this coin had become a strong symbol of national identity, and that is exactly what makes this date so fascinating for collectors today. On the front of the coin, Lady Liberty stands tall and confident. She is not sitting or resting, she is standing, alert and aware. In one hand, she holds a shield, representing strength and protection. In the other, she extends an olive branch, symbolizing peace. This balance between peace and defense perfectly reflects America's mindset during the 1920s. The nation wanted peace, but it had learned the cost of being unprepared. Above Liberty's head, the word liberty is boldly engraved, reminding us that freedom was and always remains the foundation of the United States. On either side of her, the words, "In God we trust," appear, a phrase that carried deep meaning during an era of uncertainty and change. At the bottom, the date 1927 quietly marks a year filled with cultural and economic transformation. Now turn the coin over, and the design continues its powerful message. The reverse features a magnificent eagle in full flight, wings spread wide as if rising into the future. This eagle is not perched or resting, it is moving forward, symbolizing ambition, freedom, and national strength. Surrounding the eagle are the words, United States of America, and quarter dollar, clearly declaring the coin's authority and purpose. Just above the eagle, the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, reminds us that this nation was formed from many people, many cultures, and many ideas, yet united as one. This message was especially meaningful in 1927, as America experienced massive immigration, industrial growth, and social change. One of the most important things to understand about the 1927 Standing Liberty Quarter is its composition. The coin is made of 90% silver, giving it intrinsic value beyond its face value. Even if heavily worn, this coin still holds silver worth. But when condition improves, the value can rise dramatically. The year 1927 is particularly interesting because many coins from this period did not survive in high condition. The Standing Liberty Quarter design wore down quickly in circulation, especially the date and Liberty's finer details. As a result, coins with strong detail from 1927 are far less common than people realize. Collectors carefully examine Liberty's face, the folds of her gown, the shield lines, and the sharpness of the stars. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers and wing definition are key indicators of quality. A well-struck 1927 example can be truly impressive and highly desirable. Mint marks also matter greatly. Some 1927 quarters were struck in smaller quantities at branch mints, making them even harder to find today. When collectors find a 1927 Standing Liberty Quarter with good detail and an original surface, it immediately attracts attention. What makes this coin truly special is the era it represents. The year 1927 was part of the Roaring Twenties, a time of jazz, innovation, and cultural change. The American economy was booming, cities were growing, and modern life was taking shape. This coin circulated through that exciting and unpredictable world, passing from hand to hand, witnessing history silently. Over time, many of these coins were melted, lost, or worn beyond recognition. That is why surviving examples are respected and carefully preserved. Every scratch and mark tells a story of where the coin has been and what it has seen. Today, the 1927 Standing Liberty Quarter is more than just a collectible. It is a piece of art, a historical artifact, and a reminder of a powerful chapter in American history. Whether kept raw or professionally graded, it commands respect among collectors worldwide. If you ever find one of these coins, take your time with it. Look closely. Feel its weight. Notice the craftsmanship. You are not just holding silver, you are holding a century-old symbol of liberty, strength, and national pride. Coins like the